It is a gorgeous sky across the bluegrass state, but the winds of change are blowing some thunderstorms our way. I'll show you when they arrive.
Terror in Belgium. Dozens of people are dead from attacks at the Brussels airport and subway system. We'll have the latest on how it happened and the search for those responsible. The terror in Belgium hits home in the bluegrass. What we've learned about a Lexington native and her husband who are missing after the explosions.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good afternoon. We have new developments overseas and here in Kentucky in a series of deadly attacks today in Belgium. 2 bombings at the Brussels airport and another in the subway system this morning killed at least 31 people and wounded nearly 190. We've just learned a Lexington native and her husband are among the missing. WKYT's Monique Blair is at the live desk with the breaking details. And Monique, what can you tell us about the couple?
Well, Jennifer, Stephanie Schultz's aunt tells us Schultz and her husband Justin Schultz were in the Brussels airport this morning at the time of those explosions. Now, Stephanie Schultz is a graduate of Bryan Station High School and Transylvania University. Schultz's husband Justin is from Tennessee. We're told Stephanie had recently moved to Brussels for work. This afternoon, CBS interviewed Stephanie Schultz's mother, Carolyn Moore, who still lives in Lexington. She was in Brussels visiting her daughter and son-in-law. She was in the airport about to return home, not far from her daughter and son-in-law, before the explosions went off.
And I was going back to the States. I came to visit her.
Was your daughter with you?
I was in line to check in, and she was sitting in the seats with her husband waiting for me to finish.
And now where is she?
I have no idea where she is.
Now, we have talked to the Moore family this afternoon. They are gathering at their home in Lexington. They say right now they are too upset to go on camera. Congressman Andy Barr's office has confirmed with us that they are aware of the missing couple in Brussels. They tell us they have contacted the State Department in an effort to account for the couple. At the live desk, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Stephanie Moore Schultz and her husband moved to Belgium in 2014. She works for the Mars company in Brussels. Belgium has raised its terror threat to its highest level, and surrounding European countries remain on alert. 2 explosions rocked the city's airport, and a 3rd bomb exploded at a nearby train station this morning. ISIS has since claimed responsibility, saying extremists set off suicide belts in both locations. Karen Kafa has the latest developments and the U.S. response. She continues our team coverage.
In Belgium, worst fears realized.
We were fearing terrorist attacks, and that has now happened.
Morning attacks on a subway station and the Brussels airport.
There was an explosion, yeah. And soon after that one, there was a second one.
ISIS has claimed responsibility. It started with 2 explosions in the departures hall of Zaventem Airport, outside of airport security checkpoints at around 8 a.m. Brussels time. About an hour later, an explosion at the Malbec subway station, close to a number of European Union offices. Both attacks at peak morning hours.
I can't explain. It looked like war. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's really hard.
Belgium's federal prosecutor says the 2 men in black seen here were responsible for a suicide attack at the airport. Officials are looking for the man in white as a suspect. The terror just 4 days after the arrest of Salah Abdeslam, the last suspect sought in November's Paris attacks. While noting it is still very early, Belgian security sources told CNN it's their working assumption that the network that carried out the Brussels attacks is the same that carried out the attacks in Paris. President Obama addressed the Belgium situation at the top of remarks in Havana.
We will do whatever is necessary to support our friend and ally Belgium in bringing to justice those who are responsible.
Meanwhile, here in the U.S., no specific threats, but heightened security at transportation hubs like New York's Penn Station and at airports in major cities like Washington, Chicago, and Los Angeles. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Belgium's prime minister says the country will observe 3 days of national mourning to honor the victims of the attacks. We're also hearing from a Kentuckian who is living in Brussels. Corbin native Joby Bennett works just a few miles from the airport that was targeted in the attacks. Bennett says he no longer feels safe in Brussels. He and his wife moved there with their 2 children for work 4 years ago and say they're now considering moving back to the United States.
It definitely, has already started conversations, between my wife and myself as far as, do we start looking for something back in the U.S.? It's very, very scary to think about. Who knows what's going to happen in the future as far as, the radicals here in Brussels, because there's so many of them.
Bennett says the organization he works for had multiple people traveling at the time of the attacks, and all of their flights were diverted. U.S. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell issued a statement on the attacks in Brussels. The Kentucky Republican said, in his words, Americans are saddened and horrified by the attacks in Brussels. We send our collective condolences to the victims and their families, and we are thinking of the Belgian people in this dark hour. You can keep track of the latest developments out of Brussels on WKYT.com, and we'll have more coming up at 4:30. After another chilly morning, it's warmed up this afternoon. Here's a live look at one of our sky cams in downtown Lexington, where it's sunny but very windy with temperatures in the mid-60s right now. And we could see even milder air tomorrow. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has a first look at the forecast. Chris?
Hi, Jennifer. All of this part of the roller coaster temperature ride that we've been in for the past several days. We've been in a little dip with some frost and freezing conditions over the past couple of mornings. Now we're going up, and you know what happens after you go up? Kind of go back down. Live look outside Hamburg Pavilion, blue skies over top of us, a little bit of high cloud cover in those trees that line our driveway now beginning to pop a lot of those buds. 65 degrees. The problem though, 23% humidity, winds that are coming at us sustained now out of the southwest, 24 miles an hour, getting gusts to 35. Low humidity, high winds. The burn index is high right now. Abide by all local burning restrictions and laws, because this is a situation that you can get a brush fire or forest fire to get out of control fairly quickly on you. Low and mid 60s, most of central Kentucky, some upper 60s into the southeastern corner of the state. Throughout this evening, it's only upper 40s to low 50s by 11 o'clock with a mainly fair sky. Nothing on your Defender radar network for now, but the system we're tracking coming up for Thursday is off to the west of us. That is a cold front that will arrive on Thursday with showers and some thunderstorms that will blow across the area. That'll give us a nice little drink of water. Between now and then, the gusty winds will continue into most of the area. When I come back here in less than 15 minutes, we'll also focus on your Easter weekend forecast, Jennifer, and maybe some troubles showing up for Easter Sunday.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Chris. Now at 4, the search continues for one of the suspects in an early morning robbery. Lexington police say someone robbed the Marathon on Newtown Pike just after 4 this morning. Police say while the suspect was headed to the scene, his Jeep crashed into a paddy wagon at a different gas station on Georgetown Street. No one was hurt in the crash. Police say 2 people in the Jeep then ran into a nearby neighborhood. Police arrested one of them on Charles Avenue. The other, thought to have a gun, is still on the run. Family and friends will say a final goodbye today to a Transylvania University student who died in a fall at the Raven Run Nature Sanctuary over the weekend. 22-year-old Katie Stewart, who's a native of Kenton County in northern Kentucky, fell from an overlook at the Lexington Park Saturday. Her visitation goes until 7 tonight at St. Agnes Church in Fort Wright. That will be immediately followed by her funeral, also at the church. Our reporters are working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Jennifer. Lawmakers in Frankfort are taking action against illegal dumping of radioactive waste in Kentucky landfills. This comes after the EPA found 4 violations of illegal dumping at the Blue Ridge landfill in Estill County. A new bill aims to expand existing regulations. Today, in a hearing in front of a Senate committee, the bill passed unanimously, and it will now go in front of the Senate for discussion. We'll have much more on the bill ahead on WKYT News coming up at 5 o'clock. Police need your help to find 2 would-be robbers who are not very good at completing their crimes. Williamstown Police and the Grant County Sheriff's Office have been sharing pictures of the pair. They say clerks at 2 gas stations have managed to lock the door on the pair before they can get inside and rob the place.
I came out this door and I got about right here, and I heard somebody talking right over on the corner there. And I just took the garbage can or the garbage and just put it on that corner over there, and then I went back inside the house, the shop, locked my door and went back up to the cash register to do my work. And by that time, here they came.
Clerks say the men are wearing disguises and had a gun with them when they tried to get inside. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
The FBI now says it may not need Apple's help unlocking the iPhone used by one of the San Bernardino shooters. That begins today's WKYT Money Watch. Federal prosecutors made the surprising announcement on the eve of today's hearing in federal court in Riverside, California. In court papers, prosecutors say the FBI has been researching ways to access information in Syed Farook's encrypted phone and that they're getting help from an outside party. Today's hearing has been canceled. The world's largest cruise company, Carnival, is going to Cuba. Passengers will be expected to spend 8 hours a day involved in some type of cultural experience. The 7-day trip will leave from Miami, Florida, and it will cost $1,800 per person. There's something new to buy on Amazon, cable service. Comcast will begin selling its cable, internet, and phone service on Amazon, which launched a new Amazon cable store. It includes customer service. Prices are the same as on the Comcast website. Spotify has hit 30 million subscribers. That's an increase of 10 million in just the past 9 months. The growth comes despite increased competition from Apple Music and Tidal. It's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Your fitness tracker may be telling you lies. A new study finds the gadgets aren't always accurate at keeping tabs on how much energy users burn. Scientists in Japan checked out several devices and compared them to proven methods of monitoring energy expenditure. Measurements from the fitness trackers deviated from lab results by more than 200 calories, sometimes high, sometimes low. As common as headaches and migraines are, they can be a pain to get rid of. Mary Maloney has several home remedies that can help alleviate the pain.
Your eyes are an important part of your health, and maintaining them is something that should be done on a regular basis. Maintaining good vision starts with a balanced diet. Nutrients found in certain foods like salmon, tuna, dark leafy greens, beans, and nuts can help prevent common vision problems such as cataracts. If you smoke, quit. In addition to heart disease and lung cancer, smoking can also lead to vision loss. Studies show smokers are more likely to get optic nerve damage, cataracts, or macular degeneration than non-smokers. Wear sunglasses. You want a pair of sunglasses that can provide high UV protection. Research shows UV radiation can cause damage to different parts of the eye, including the cornea. Digital eye strain. Try using an anti-glare screen on your computer or even adjusting your monitor to eye level. Taking a few minutes to step away from the computer every couple of hours may also help. And visit your doctor. Getting regular eye exams can help spot and treat diseases early on. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.